How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Blackrock just started a new fund. It's not Bitcoin. I want to go through it because they filed this with the SEC. It's still kind of, I don't want to say hush hush, but I don't see a lot of information on it. But I do have an article. It just happened today, and they already seeded it with $100 million of USDC. So I want to go through that. If you don't mind though, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Stay through to the end of the video. We're going to be talking about the Blackrock new fund a little bit further in, but there's a lot of stuff that we have to hit on before that. Also, while you're down there hitting subscribe, there is a link to Margex underneath the video as well. In case you want to start trading cryptocurrencies, you can do it over on Margex. It's a really easy to use platform. It's got a lot of features. I've also heard that they're going to have an update probably later this week into early next week that's going to give a lot more functionality, a lot of things that people have been asking for. So definitely be on the lookout for that. There's also a link down there to CoinW in case you want to trade spot cryptocurrency or futures. You can try it over on CoinW. Now, we've already seen a bit of a bounce. Now, it doesn't seem like that big of a bounce because we fell from 74,000 down to about 62.2. Now we're up at like 64.5, but that's still a $2,000 bounce. That is pretty significant. It will be interesting to see if we continue up or if we fall back down. But so far, the ETFs look pretty good today. The trading volume for IBIT is pretty high. This is the update at 2:15 p.m. Eastern time, so about 2 hours ago. IBIT was over 2 billion in volume, with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust at about 1 billion and Fidelity at 770 million. Of course, it's going to take the rest of the night, or probably another, 8 hours, 6 hours to get in all the information in terms of flows. But this is a big trading day in terms of IBIT's volume, and you can see it here. Like it's a pretty good day so far. Hopefully they continue to buy some. Obviously, yesterday we had some record outflows from GBTC. This is a crazy stat. GBTC's outflow yesterday of 643 million was the single biggest individual ETF outflow in nearly 15 years. That is crazy. So basically, since like 08, 09, this is the largest outflow, and this has been like just one of the many days that they had around 500 million outflows. They've had a handful around that point. So like they've been continuously knocking at that door, almost breaking the record. And yeah, they broke the record. That's just crazy how much they're selling. And IBIT continues to buy. Blackrock continues to buy. Again, we have news about their new fund here in a second that they funded with $100 million, but 451 million yesterday. We'll have to see again what happens today. Now we're still on the dip, right? This is the drawdowns. Dylan LeClaire lays out here in 2013. We went from 1.24K Bitcoin to 340, so we dropped 86%. The next year we dropped 75%. The next year we dropped 40%, 40%, 40%, 82%, 53%, 63, 55, 68. This is all the way up till 2022. Every single year we saw big drops at some point. Even in bull markets, we still saw 40% drops from peak to trough. So it's totally normal to see drops like this. Now, we might not see a big drop, as big a drop as we've seen in the past, but a 15-20% move is completely normal. And I just thought it was important to show this. I know I've been saying that, but I wanted to show this specific tweet because I think it really shows, even in bull markets, no matter what year you're looking at, there's still a lot of volatility. Yeah, Bitcoin flash crashed to 8.9K on BitMEX. I saw this. This is crazy. Again, you want to have multiple exchanges set up, and you want to be careful because, like, I haven't seen this on other exchanges, but BitMEX apparently had this problem. They had someone sell like 400 Bitcoin, and it flash crashed them. Now, Margex specifically has something to help against price manipulation on their platform. It's on the first page. When you go with the link underneath the video, it tells you about it. So if you want that, you can check out that link underneath the video. It helps prevent things like this kind of manipulation by different individuals. But of course, whenever you invest in any platform or use any platform, they're going to have issues. So just be on the lookout for that. Be careful because, yeah, depending on how you trade or how you buy and sell, like you may be screwed on something like this. So that's why the majority of my bag is long-term holding. Now, Whalewire. This has been someone that's been very bearish on the market, very outwardly bearish, saying that Bitcoin's going to go to 1 or 2 or 3K during, I think, the next year. This is just crazy that they think this, but they say over 18% of Bitcoin's entire value was wiped out in a few days. Imagine what happens in weeks or months. As fast as it rose, so too will it collapse. This is what happens when the bubble is inflated with entirely fraudulent and manipulated stablecoins and exchanges from China. This isn't rocket science, but nothing about BTC is sustainable. If you held Bitcoin during its rise, that's great, but it's like leaving chicken skewers on the barbecue. It starts off raw, then becomes well cooked, then burnt, then and don't get burnt. Yeah, okay. They show this chart too, like this. Oh, it looks like a bloodbath. They have blood spurted on the picture, and when you go to Bitcoin here, like this is nothing. This is nothing. This is the 1 hour. Let me go to the 1 day. Like you can barely even see the little bit of decrease when you scroll out to this. Like, yeah, it's a low pullback. It's not any bloody mess or anything like that. This is completely normal in a bull market. So it's interesting. I'm guessing, and I've said this in the past because Whalewire said that they thought Bitcoin was going to go to 2,000 or 3,000. I'm guessing they either are short Bitcoin or they want to pick it up cheaper. And they have a big influence, 520,000 followers. I'm guessing they're probably picking up Bitcoin or crypto. They're fudding all their followers because they have a finance and crypto letter. Would you have a crypto newsletter unless you were bullish on crypto? Probably not. Like, why would you start something that you're really bearish against? Like, even this, Peter Schiff, he's not going out and getting a crypto newsletter set up. He might talk about crypto, but it's not a crypto newsletter. So I'm guessing Whalewire's trying to FUD people out and trying to buy their cheap crypto. Peter Schiff says Bitcoin has fallen 15% from its price. And again, we'll get to Blackrock in a second, but it's fallen 15% from their peak price of 74K without a single day of outflows from any of the new Bitcoin ETFs, not counting GBTC. Imagine how much more Bitcoin would have fallen without ETF buying. Now imagine what happens when all the Bitcoin ETFs have outflows. So I talked about this with someone in crypto recently, another YouTuber. And we both think that's possible that we can have Bitcoin ETF outflows. Like that's going to happen in the future at some point. You know, some of these people are buying through financial advisors. Some are just buying through their Fidelity accounts. And they're just buying to hold it for the next cycle and they'll sell out. So that we will probably see an outflow day from Blackrock. We've seen it from Fidelity, I believe already, or like a 0 day. That's likely to happen. But Peter Schiff, his comment here is just stupid, right? He says, imagine how much more Bitcoin would have fallen without ETFs buying. Okay, I said, imagine how much this asset would fall if the biggest buyer stopped buying. That's true of all assets, right? If you said, imagine how much Tesla would have fallen today if no one bought Tesla. Well, of course it's going to fall because then you only have sellers. That's just dumb. And I said, imagine how much it would move up if the biggest seller stopped selling, right? Like you can play both sides of that. The difference is that the biggest seller is limited in their Bitcoin, right? GBTC only has so much Bitcoin left. They've sold almost half of it, but the biggest buyers are infinite. They have infinite amounts of money. The reason Bitcoin can go up to $1 million, $10 million, $100 million one day is because there's no downside, or there's no ending to the printing of money. So even if you accounted for Bitcoin not really going up in value versus other assets, the upside potential is still infinite because there's an infinite amount of money that can be printed. So yeah, I thought it's funny. The bears are coming out. They're super happy. They're patting themselves on the back because Bitcoin's down 15% when it's up 400% still from the bottom. And let's go over to Blackrock. Blackrock creates tokenized asset fund, SEC filing shows. The fund was seeded with $100 million in USDC stablecoin using the Ethereum blockchain, data shows. Investment management giant BlackRock has created a tokenized asset fund, according to a document filed with the SEC. The BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund was incorporated on the British Virgin Islands and will be launched in partnership with the tokenization firm Securitize. Blockchain data shows that the fund was seeded with $100 million in Circle's USDC stablecoin using the Ethereum network. The move follows BlackRock's foray into digital assets. Larry Fink, in a January interview with CNBC, said BTC and ETFs and ETH ETFs are just stepping stones towards tokenization, and I really do believe this is where we're going to go. The fund also represents a significant milestone for tokenization of real-world assets, a growing sector in the intersection of digital assets and traditional finance that compromises placing traditional assets on blockchain rails in pursuit of faster settlement and increased efficiency. Yeah, so right now we don't really know what this is going to be used for. If you do know, let me know in the comment section. Like, what is the point of this fund? I don't think they've even discussed it or really put it in the filing. But what this does represent is they are looking to get into crypto even more than they're in crypto right now. They're not stopping at a Bitcoin ETF. No, they want to tokenize other assets. They want an ETH ETF. They're putting hundreds of millions of dollars up. And if you remember, there was news about a private fund that they got some of the larger investors in for Bitcoin before they passed the Bitcoin ETF. Maybe this is something similar. Maybe it's similar to like an ETH ETF. I'm not sure exactly. It's interesting though that they are starting this fund without really talking about what it's going to be. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section. Last thing I want to hit on. I saw news about, I think it was BP doing this a while ago. They put, I think it was $1 billion over the next 5 or 10 years towards EV charging stations at their gas stations. It just came out that Shell is going to unload 1,000 gas stations and pivot to EV charging. They said, we're upgrading our retail network with expanding electric vehicle charging and convenience offers in response to charging customer needs. And I'm a big investor in Tesla. Tesla has seen a lot of bleeding recently. People not super excited about this. This is really exciting. Like, this is really good news when these big gas stations are moving over to EV, because yes, maybe Tesla gets some of this. Maybe they're the ones helping build out the chargers, or they're the ones that are going to put the chargers in. Maybe they're not, but it makes that argument that, oh, it's really hard to find an EV charger. It continues to make it more and more wrong and more irrelevant. Most people don't even use electric chargers either, like out and about. Like, most people just go back and forth to their house and then use their house charger. So it is interesting to see this. And honestly, like, if you're looking at the average EV client versus the average gas client, the average EV client is much more valuable to these kinds of gas stations. Like, a lot of gas stations, they make their profits from the convenience stores. Now, it's like the big companies, I don't know. I haven't looked at them in a while. They probably make some from the actual oil, gas. But like a normal gas station, they make a lot of money from their food, not necessarily their gas, maybe a cent or two per gallon. But an EV client is going to be there for probably 10 to 15 minutes. They're going to try to kill some time. They're probably a little bit wealthier than your average gas client, and they're more likely to buy food there. So it makes sense to move to EV, and it's just one more selling point of people stopping there versus your competitor down the road. So it is interesting to watch. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I'll probably make another video later tonight. I saw a really interesting thing about Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, how they're actually like a reverse Ponzi. I want to talk about that. If you don't mind though, hit subscribe, like I said at the beginning of the video. Also, turn on that bell notification. You can check out the links underneath the video to Margex and to CoinW, Blowfin, BYDFI, all those. Something we're going to unveil later this week with CoinW is really exciting. So be on the lookout for that. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, by the way, if you're thinking about signing up for CoinW and now you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to because you just said something exciting was going to happen, you can sign up now. It's not like a bigger deposit bonus or anything like that. It's something that you'll have access to that could be really valuable, but you can sign up now for CoinW and you'll still have access to it. It won't matter if you sign up now or later this week. So you might as well get it ready now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next.